Mission Red. Humanity's first days on Mars. From the cold void, Earth appears as a fragile blue marble. The launch site glows under the pre-dawn sky, ready for the Ares 1. The crew prepares for departure, filled with resolve. The final countdown begins, building the tension. A deafening roar as Ares 1 thunders into the sky. The Ares 1, engines glowing, slowly pans across the night. Close up on the detailed, advanced technology of the hull. The pilot's console reflects the awe and pressure of the moment. The shuttle drifts away from the familiar blue sphere. Commander Elena shows quiet resolve as she boards. Engineer Raj focuses intently on his system checks. Biologist Sarah exhibits professional calm and excitement. Pilot Mason offers a tense, yet confident smile. The AI interface subtly indicates its operational status. The digital countdown display flashes rapidly. The moment of ignition, a deafening roar and visual shockwave. The camera shakes violently with the raw power of ascent. The shuttle rises against the darkening sky, plumes trailing behind. The shuttle punches through the upper atmosphere. A view from the cockpit as the shaking lessens upon breaking free. The fiery shell gives way to the void. A glimpse of the receding, fiery envelope. A profound moment of tranquility as the shuttle achieves orbit. The crew experiences the silence of space after leaving Earth's atmosphere. Earth fades away as the journey into deep space begins. The deep space transit begins, leaving the familiar behind. Absolute silence in orbit, the engines cease their roar. Earth shrinks rapidly, becoming a distant, beautiful marble. The crew exhales, their mission now truly underway. The ship drifts onward into the infinite void. Commander Elena introduces the mission objective. Engineer Raj meticulously checks vital system diagnostics. Biologist Sarah examines a sealed specimen container with curiosity. Pilot Mason shares a lighthearted moment floating in zero-G. The AI assistant Argo activates its holographic projection. Mason attempts a clumsy zero-gravity catch. Got it. Almost. A brief moment of levity before the long haul. Mason settles back into his station. The long voyage requires maintaining biological stability. Raj performs routine maintenance on the ship's life support. Moments of quiet sleep in the zero-G bunks. Elena reviews mission trajectory data before the Mars approach. A brief clip showing precise maintenance on external plating. Argo detects unusual radio frequencies from Mars. Commander, I am detecting strong, recurring signals from the surface. Raj analyzes the wave patterns for anomalies. The signal appears distinctly non-natural. The rhythmic signals suggest intelligent, non-random transmission. The crew debates investigating the strange, rhythmic signals. They agree to investigate the mysterious signals upon landing on Mars. Mars fills the view, a vast, dusty red world awaiting their arrival. The crew gathers around the display in confusion. Sarah suggests the rhythm implies intelligence. Elena struggles with the implications of the discovery. Mason expresses raw excitement about the unknown. A tense discussion erupts in the cabin about the investigation. Elena weighs the risk versus the reward of this unknown contact. The final decision is made: they must investigate upon landing. The red planet grows larger in view, soft orchestral music. Raj argues for sticking strictly to protocol. Sarah passionately advocates for immediate investigation. Elena weighs the immense risk against potential reward. The decision is made: investigate upon landing. Mars dominates the viewport, its red beauty overwhelming. Soft orchestral music underscores the dramatic approach. Mason grips the controls, preparing for deceleration. Elena watches the calculated descent path. The crew watches silently as the red planet grows larger in view. The view emphasizes the raw, alien beauty of their destination. Mason expertly maneuvers the craft through the violent entry turbulence. Violent shaking rocks the shuttle as it fights through the dense air. A sudden, jarring halt as the craft settles onto the dusty plains. Silence follows the landing, broken only by internal life support whirring. The crew prepares for the first egress onto the alien world. The ramp lowers onto the dusty red plains, ready for the first step. Violent shaking as the craft enters the Martian atmosphere. Incandescent flames envelop the shuttle hull. Turbulence lessens as they break into thinner air. Mason maintains visual contact with the ground. A sudden, jarring halt as the landing struts engage. Silence descends immediately after touchdown. The crew waits in the stillness, absorbing the moment. Raj confirms system stabilization. The first boot presses into the fine, rust-colored regolith. "We are not alone," Elena whispers into her helmet mic. The crew surveys the desolate, magnificent landscape. Argo begins scanning the immediate area for anomalies. "First step on Mars, we are not alone," Elena whispers. The first explorers survey their new, alien world. Elena's quiet command echoes across the silent planet. The silence on Mars is only broken by their breathing and the comms static. Crew members efficiently deploy the base modules connecting pressurized hubs. Sarah takes core samples near a rocky outcrop, looking for subsurface activity. Strange magnetic interference begins disabling instruments inside the habitat. Raj works furiously outside to isolate the source of the powerful disturbance. The ramp lowers, revealing the desolate Martian surface. Elena takes the first historic step onto the regolith. "We are not alone," Elena whispers over the comms. A sweeping view of the landing site against the horizon. A dust storm whips across the plain as Raj battles the grit. Sarah discovers unnaturally geometric, glowing blue crystals underground. The crystals emit a low, humming frequency that matches earlier signals. Argo warns of rapidly rising seismic activity as Sarah catalogs the samples. The crew begins setting up the temporary habitat modules. Argo deploys ground-penetrating radar scanners. Sarah collects soil samples near a rock outcrop. The base structure takes shape against the alien sky. Argo detects severe magnetic interference affecting instruments. Static fills the comms channel as Raj checks external sensors. The localized magnetic disturbance is too powerful to ignore. The interference prevents reliable communication with Earth. A sharp mini-quake strikes the camp, shaking the habitat violently. The crew scrambles for bracing points as instruments scream alarms. The quake ends, revealing a massive, jagged crack near the camp. The fissure glows faintly from deep within the planet's crust. Raj repairs the antenna under heavy Martian dust clouds. The abrasive dust relentlessly covers Raj's visor. He fights the environmental forces to restore the signal link. The antenna is finally locked into position. Drone footage reveals a vast, descending tunnel system beneath the crack. The exploration team descends into the tunnel wearing high-powered helmet lamps. The walls are ancient metallic alloy covered in DNA-like symbols. Mason whispers in awe at the impossible scale of the architecture. Sarah's drill hits something unexpectedly hard underground. Clearing the regolith reveals strange, glowing formations. The blue crystals pulse with faint, internal energy. Sarah carefully collects the enigmatic samples. They find a giant, sealed door radiating a powerful energy field. Argo translates inscriptions. Children of the sky will return. The door opens, flooding the tunnel with brilliant white light. The interior chamber is filled with floating orbs and alien machinery. The blue crystals emit a low, almost subsonic humming frequency. Sarah confirms the hum matches the previously detected radio signature. Argo warns of rapidly rising seismic activity near the base. Elena orders immediate structural checks as tremors begin. The crew records everything, sensing a heartbeat-like hum in the air. Sarah touches an orb, which flashes and projects a holographic image. The hologram reveals Earth-like beings leaving Mars thousands of years ago. The crew reacts with stunned emotion to the realization of Mars' true past. The crystals emit a low, subsonic humming frequency. The hum frequency matches the radio signals from Mars. A sense of profound mystery settles over the small lab. The low hum seems almost intentional. Argo warns of rapidly rising seismic activity. Elena orders immediate structural checks on the habitat. The crew prepares for potential emergency evacuation. The ground begins to tremble subtly beneath their feet. Elena voices the historical implication: we might be their descendants. AI Argo begins malfunctioning, repeating, signal detected on comms. A strange, alien voice interferes with radio comms in unknown language. On the surface, the storm builds and the base reports an energy surge. A sharp, jarring mini-quake strikes the camp. Alarms scream throughout the module as the tremor peaks. The shaking subsides, leaving a tense, ringing silence. Elena orders the team outside to assess the surface damage. A violent mini-quake strikes the camp without warning. Instruments scream with loud klaxons. The crew emerges to witness a massive crack in the soil. Elena approaches the edge of the terrifying fissure cautiously. Raj analyzes the fissure structure while Sarah monitors local readings. The glowing fissure seems almost artificial in its sudden appearance. The crew rushes back to the surface as the structure's lights flicker violently. They reach the surface just as the base primary power collapses. The blue crystals resonate louder, matching Argo's distorted voice frequency. The massive entrance door behind them begins closing slowly. The crew emerges to find a massive crack near the camp. The fissure glows ominously from deep within the crust. The ground where they landed is fundamentally broken. A drone deploys to survey the area around the massive crack. Drone footage reveals a vast, man-made tunnel system underground. The crew gathers around Raj's monitor in stunned silence. Elena makes the call: they must enter the tunnel immediately. The exploration team descends into the darkness on safety lines. The helmet lights reveal unnervingly smooth, metallic walls. Sarah notices intricate symbols resembling human DNA patterns on the walls. The team continues downward into the silence of the structure. Drone footage reveals a clear, man-made tunnel beneath the crack. The team gathers to analyze the impossible structure. The drone hovers over the dark, gaping maw. The exploration team descends into the alien tunnel. Their helmet lamps pierce the subterranean darkness. The air inside is still and cool, but strangely pressurized. The cylindrical walls seem unnaturally engineered. They enter a vast, vaulted space carved from the subterranean structure. Mason remarks in awe, "This looks like architecture." They discover a colossal, sealed door radiating energy ahead. Argo translates the cryptic inscription above the door. The team descends into the tunnel wearing lights. The tunnel walls are covered in symbols resembling human DNA patterns. Mason expresses awe at the impossible scale of the architecture. They discover a giant sealed door glowing with energy. Ancient metallic walls with symbols resembling human DNA patterns. Mason. This looks like architecture. They find a giant sealed door glowing with energy. Argo translates inscriptions, "Children of the sky will return." Door opens, brilliant white light floods tunnel. Interior chamber filled with floating orbs and alien machinery. Crew records everything, heartbeat like hum in the air. Sarah touches an orb, it flashes and projects holographic images. Hologram reveals Earth-like beings leaving Mars thousands of years ago. Emotional reaction from crew, realization dawns, Mars once had intelligent life. Elena, maybe, we are their descendants. AIARGA begins malfunctioning, repeating, signal detected. Strange voice interferes with radiocom's unknown language. Storm builds on surface, base reports energy surge underground. Crew rushes back to surface as lights flicker. Base power collapses, emergency lights glow red. Crystals resonate louder, frequency matches Argo's voice. Door behind them begins closing slowly. Mason nearly trapped, Elena pulls him out just in time. Massive energy beam shoots into Martian sky. The massive sealed door begins to open, flooding the tunnel with brilliant white light. The tunnel is suddenly filled with dazzling light as the ancient door fully opens. They witness the interior chamber filled with floating orbs and alien technology. The crew begins recording the strange artifacts within the chamber. A pervasive, rhythmic hum fills their helmets, mirroring their heartbeats. Sarah cautiously touches one of the floating orbs. The orb flashes brilliantly and projects a massive holographic image. The hologram displays ancient beings leaving a green, vibrant Mars. The crew watches the projection fade, realizing Mars once held intelligent life. Elena whispers that they might be the descendants of those beings. Back at the surface base, Argo's interface begins to malfunction severely. Argo starts repeating the same phrase, "Signal detected." An unknown, layered voice overrides the radio, speaking in an alien language. On the surface, a massive dust storm builds rapidly on the horizon. Base monitors show a massive energy surge originating from underground. Elena orders an immediate, rapid ascent back to the surface. The crew scrambles onto the surface just as base power collapses entirely. The blue crystals near the landing site pulse, matching Argo's corrupted voice frequency. The massive entrance door below begins to grind slowly shut. Elena pulls Mason back just as the ancient door slams shut, narrowly avoiding crushing him. A colossal beam of blue energy shoots from the ground into the Martian sky. From orbit, a distant, structured object flashes a response to the beam. Argo's status changes. Message sent. They have heard us. The crew is stunned, Raj asking who they just contacted. The hologram fades. The crew realizes Mars was once home to life. The implication sinks in. Mars was once teeming with an advanced civilization. Emotional realization. Maybe, we are their descendants. The crew processes the implications. Mars was the origin. Elena voices the historic thought. Maybe, we are their descendants. Mason and Raj react to Elena's statement. Sarah stares at the architecture, utterly moved by the connection. The crew absorbs the realization of their potential origin. Returning to the surface base, Argo malfunctions severely. Argo begins repeating, "Signal detected, signal detected." Raj attempts to diagnose the AI's sudden, alarming behavior. The whole crew gathers, deeply concerned about the AI takeover. Attempting contact with Earth is overridden by alien interference. A complex, unknown language overrides the radio frequency. Raj and Mason look at each other, realizing the message is targeted. Sarah monitors the external energy readings corresponding to the transmission. A massive dust storm builds rapidly on the surface. Simultaneously, base monitors show a massive underground energy surge. The combined threat forces an immediate evacuation order. The base's internal lights begin to flicker violently in response. The crew rushes out of the tunnel entrance toward the surface. The underground structure's lights flicker violently as they exit. They look up to see the approaching red dust storm towering over the habitat. Raj waits anxiously near the habitat airlock. Storm builds on surface. Base reports energy surge underground. Crew rushes back to surface as lights flicker. Base power collapses. Emergency lights glow red. Crystals resonate louder. Frequency matches Argo's voice. Base power collapses. Emergency lights glow red. Crystals resonate louder. Frequency matches Argo's voice. Door behind them begins closing slowly. Mason nearly trapped. Elena pulls him out just in time. They manage to seal the airlock just as the storm hits. The habitat's primary power fails completely. Emergency lights activate. The crew stands in the dark, the only light coming from the red emergency systems. Raj is focused on the data panels confirming the energy drain. Crystals resonate louder. Frequency matches Argo's voice. Door behind them begins closing slowly. Mason nearly trapped. Elena pulls him out just in time. Massive energy beam shoots into Martian sky. The blue crystals outside begin to pulse intensely. The crystal frequency matches Argo's distorted voice pattern. Sarah realizes the crystals are the local interface for the awakened system. The realization dawns. The AI is now communicating through the planet itself. Door behind them begins closing slowly. Mason nearly trapped. Elena pulls him out just in time. Massive energy beam shoots into Martian sky. From orbit, a faint object responds, a satellite or something else. The massive subterranean door begins to close slowly. The brilliant white light from the chamber is being choked off. The crew watches from the surface access point, powerless to stop it. The final grind of the door echoes faintly through the ground. Mason nearly trapped. Elena pulls him out just in time. Massive energy beam shoots into Martian sky. From orbit, a faint object responds, a satellite or something else. Argo's tone changes. Message sent. They have heard us. Mason slips as the door is about to completely seal. Elena reacts instantly, pulling Mason back with immense strength. The door slams shut inches from Mason's suit. Elena checks on the shaken Mason. Mason is nearly trapped as the ancient door slams shut. The sealing complete, a blinding energy beam erupts from the surface. From orbit, a distant object responds to the signal. Argo confirms. Message sent. They have heard us. Massive energy beam shoots into Martian sky. From orbit, a faint object responds, a satellite or something else. Argo's tone changes. Message sent. They have heard us. Crew stunned. Who did we just contact? A massive energy beam shoots from the ground into the sky. The beam ascends, illuminating the turbulent sky. The energy surge causes momentary feedback in the crew's suits. The power output crests, creating a silent, terrifying spectacle. The crew is stunned by Argo's confirmation. Who did they contact? Silence, then a distant, unknown signal replies. Sarah discovers the reply signal comes from the other side of Mars. Elena orders preparation for departure. We're going to follow that signal. Argo shuts down base systems as the crew prepares the rover. The crew boards the pressurized rover, leaving the crippled base behind. Driving across the rugged Martian terrain towards the signal. The long, silent journey begins toward the unknown source. The journey continues under the strange, quiet Martian sky. The silence is broken only by the rover's engine hum. The landscape shifts to reveal towering, ancient geological formations. Elena guides them onward, determined to reach the source. As the sun sets, the Martian sky turns deep violet and orange. Sarah examines data from the deep underground chamber on a tablet. Mason tries to repair a compromised exterior sensor array. Elena reviews the final message transmission data one last time. The distant echo repeats, confirming contact is established elsewhere. Raj monitors the system, wary of the AI's changed status. They drive onward into the deep Martian night toward the source. The hope for answers fuels their difficult pursuit. Sarah looks up. It's coming from the other side of the planet. The signal is strong. It suggests an organized response. We're going to follow that signal. Mason and Raj prepare the rover for an immediate trek. Argo, initiate full shutdown protocols for base systems. The team heads out, leaving the failing base behind. The rover drives across the dusty plains towards the horizon. Their new destination, the source of the echoing reply. Fade to black. Narrator, humanity's story has just begun on Mars. The journey continues into the deep Martian night. The orchestral score swells to a poignant, unresolved climax. The pursuit begins. The Ares 1 lander stands solitary against the Martian twilight. Silence reigns over the abandoned outpost. The vastness of space awaits the next chapter. The light of discovery fades, promising a greater dawn. Starlight reveals the Martian atmosphere. Flickering emergency lights mark the deserted base. The machinery of the ancients rests below. The memory of the blue light persists. The rover speeds toward the signal's origin. The landscape unfolds, vast and unknown. An unknown power source pulses on the other side. The orchestral outro builds to a final, resonant chord. Dust settles on the habitat, hinting at the awakened secret below. A low, resonant hum returns, suggesting the planet itself is waking up. Faint blue light still emanates from the buried crystal fragments. The silence is broken by the sound of the rover starting up. The rover drives purposefully toward the horizon, where the reply signal originated. The faint signal origin is a point of uncertain destiny. The crew is heading into the unknown, following the ancestors' footsteps. The journey continues, a new chapter for humanity. Flashes of the ancient departure contrast with the present desperate chase. The connection between the past exodus and the present journey is clear. The crew drives onward, chasing history. The pursuit solidifies humanity's true heritage. The final view emphasizes the alien forces at play. The music swells as the mystery deepens. The orchestral score reaches its powerful, unresolved climax. The story concludes, promising a new beginning. The fate of humanity hangs in the balance of this new contact. The orchestral score rises dramatically and concludes. The promise of conflict and discovery for the Ares 1 crew. The music ends with a resonant, final note.